Good morning, friends, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on your location. I'm painting Santa Claus today. We're going to try and finish Santa Claus today, actually, is a fairer statement. Hello, Froths. Yes, it's been a long and stressful week, and I am heading off to Tasmania next week for work. Unfortunately, I not be able to get as much done as I would like on this cool new game that I'm playing. But I want to have this guy ready for when I come back. No, look, I wasn't stressed, but the week takes its toll in other ways, doesn't it? Yes, I have no idea about the lore of this guy. Well, I know a few things about the lore of this guy in the game. Number one is he eats babies. Look at his hand. He's holding a baby in his hand that he's about to eat. What a legend! I just can't get over these models sometimes. They're just the coolest. Yes, so unfortunately this model has a metric fuck ton of details, and I thought I was going to be able to get it done in a pretty quick time frame. And to be fair, this has only been about 3 hours. G'day, Blending the Void. It is Kingdom Death Cobra Snake, yes. I thought I was going to be able to get him done quicker than I have, but that's okay. We're in the home stretch now, so we'll finish him on this stream today. He's got a sack full of babies. Look at this. Just ready to chomp on whenever he's hungry. Nom 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 nom. Delicious, delicious babies. So he comes to your settlement and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's happening? How's everyone going? Any babies for me to eat?" I assume. That's the extent of my knowledge of what this guy does at this point. I can't wait to find out. The reason I got to finish him is because in the playthrough I'm doing on my YouTube channel, we're up to Lantern Year 7 I just uploaded. Actually, I didn't upload 7, I uploaded 6. I'll go upload 7 today because I recorded that. We have one more year before this guy appears. So I need to finish painting him. And then I think I've got about 5 years before I need to do the Gambler. So if we're lucky, we'll be finished this. Have a bit of time to start the very, very tedious process that is going to be gap filling on the Gambler. Oh my god. One of the dudes who I really enjoy reading articles about from Kingdom Death is his name's Fen. He's got a Patreon. If you're interested in learning about Kingdom Death, I highly recommend his Patreon. I've read every article on there. Multiple times, actually. He just received his gambler's chest and is getting excited and ready to pump out some content. And he's pretty excited, which is cool. It's interesting. He's been in a position for a few years now where, you know, he wants to write content, he wants to make content for this game, but there hasn't been anything really that he's been able to write about, which would be a frustrating thing to be in. Hey, Chromonaut. Hello, champion. Everyone should go follow Chromonaut's YouTube channel as well. It is kind of like an RPG, yes, actually. It's a unique game. Hey, buddy. So let me give you a very, very, very Cliff Notes version of what happens in Kingdom Death in the gameplay loop. You start off literally waking up in the middle of an empty plain, and the plain is made up of faces carved out of stone, and you're all naked, and you don't speak, and you walk around and look at each other, and then all of a sudden a big white lion comes and attacks you and starts eating you. And then a couple of those people that are just woken up grab sharp rocks on the ground and yell out at the lion and go, "Rah, we're going to fight you, lion." And if you successfully kill the lion, your group of survivors walk off into the darkness and decide that the only way they can live is by hunting animals, and they build a settlement, and your job is to nurture that settlement and help it grow and research new technologies and build equipment and go hunting all of the weird and wild creatures that live in the Kingdom Death world. And the story is very, very sparse with its with what happened, like what they share. You don't really know what's going on, and the exploration, finding out what's happening and who everyone is and all that sort of stuff, it's never really clearly spelled out. This is the answer to the question. All it is an exploration of the world. Weird things happen along the way. When you go out to hunt a monster, you go through this whole hunt phase where you have to navigate through the world, and there's all sorts of things. Yeah, it's a big boy. I can't even get it on screen. I might have to move my thing back a bit. Delicious, delicious babies. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. I'm not sure if this is little like Larry, Curly and Moe from the fucking Three Stooges or whatever, but I don't know what they're doing here. Got like little monged faces. Look at all these babies. So Kingdom Death combines like civilization building with boss battling, with exploration, in a way that very, very few other games have been able to capture or replicate. And it does it all with this sense of absolute discovery, because it just doesn't spell it out for you. It doesn't say And it was that guy that killed everyone. And one of the endings to a story is basically you died. Kind of like Dark Souls. You did your best and you're dead. Cheers. G'day, Match Fixer. Alright, so something happened yesterday. The Wheel of Time, the first 2 episodes dropped onto Amazon Prime. I'm yet to watch them. I'm saving them. Saving them for my flight down. If anyone's watched them, feel free to let me know. Yeah, the second season's arrived. It's the greatest book series of my life. Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I'd probably put the Dresden Files over it now, actually. I think the Dresden Files has been more impactful. But I don't have a Dresden Files tattoo, and I do have a Wheel of Time tattoo. Thanks, mate. Use a lot of tricks. As I always do. So I promised someone in the Kingdom Death Discord that I was gonna do a video on a tutorial on saturation. And I was going to use this model because I thought the red would be a good example. But I realized that I don't actually necessarily need a model to demonstrate on, because the things that I want to talk about are not really related to painting specifically. It's related to paint, the properties of paint. And this using paint would actually probably defeat the purpose of what I would want to say. So I've been thinking over how I'm going to present my topic in a tutorial. Hello, Minimancer. So yeah, you can expect, when I get back from Taz anyway, you can expect a little tutorial. But it's not going to be anything revelatory for those that are regular frequenters of this channel. In particular, Minimancer, because I'm just going to talk about the same thing I talk about on this channel a lot, which is how to achieve saturation without losing value. And the answer is relatively simple. It's simple in understanding, but it's much harder to execute. In case you're wondering, the answer is highlight up to a mid-tone. However, how do you do that and still have it look good? Well, look at this guy, for example. How cool does his red look? It's just a mid-tone. I have never tried the Schminker Primacryl range, no. I'm a pretty boring guy, unfortunately. I find something I like, and then I stick with it until I die. See you, froths. maybe the lesson on saturation is not that saturation is bad. Desaturation is bad, rather. Because it's not. That's not the lesson. The lesson is, what is contrast? That's the lesson. And if you're wondering what the answer to that question is, contrast is defined in the dictionary as the juxtaposition of strikingly different elements. Yeah. So if you were to paint a model entirely in grayscale, black, white, the only colours that you use, then the saturation becomes irrelevant because there is no saturation on the piece. So the only contrast lever you have then, that's actually not true. The main contrast lever you have is value, the variation between light and dark. So to make your model interesting, you need to focus purely on light and dark contrast. You can also add textured contrast in there, but it's diminishing my point. So if you have only one lever that you can pull, then that's what you should focus on. But we don't have only one lever. We have multiple. Delicious, delicious babies. So we can't just be thinking of saturation in isolation. We need to be thinking of saturation alongside value. Hey Tui, mate, I wish I had as many levers to pull as you do. You're a wonderful man. You pull that hard. It's a gift. It is a gift. It has been a while, mate. It has been a while. Look like Dogma was a good time, mate. As always. Well, we do have a really cool community down here, but it's very small. So I can prance around and have a great time because there's about 7 people there. Europe has a wonderful painting community. And I'm very envious of you. Going off the rails is part of the fun, isn't it? Finally, we're getting in the home stretch of angry Santa Claus. Baby eating Santa Claus. Nom 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 nom. I'd really like to do a Dogma one day. The painting in a compressed time frame would be fine and fun. But I think the creativity that everyone else seems to find that weekend would be awesome. Yeah, we could do one in Oz. So I've said this to a number of people. There's lots of awesome things we could do in Oz. However, this guy won't be organising them because I do organise so many things already. I do not have the mental capacity to add more to the list. It's been really good recently. We've had a number of new painting events crop up. maybe secured an international painter for Crimson next year, which is amazing. We've got a good venue for it. The Sydney Display Painters Guild have a really cool location that would make for a really good environment. I should go down and host the footage of the weekend. That's what I should do. Big Dino here, reporting live from Dogma, Australia. And here you can see we've got 3 painters. Tui, don't do that to me, mate. Don't make it seem like it'd be easy. They're never easy. Organising things is never ever easy. Especially for mini painters, it's like herding cattle. People start meandering off, doing their own thing. Babies. Look at all these delicious babies. Look, I will keep it in mind because I do think it's something that here would be really, really cool. I think it would fit in with our community really well. Little baby. Alright. Kind of feel like we're getting into the home stretch now, which is an awesome feeling. Yeah. I don't think you should discount quite how much work that actually is. the administrative load. Chasing people to pay money. Getting people to commit. So I had a weird dream last night. Now I don't generally remember my dreams, right? I'm not someone who remembers their dreams very often, but I was back in my glory days playing rugby league. And I had a game up the coast. I had to drive up the coast to go play. It was a weird dream. But I think I figured out where it came from. Because last night as I was going to bed, I live across the road from a hockey fields. It's really cool. Weekends, Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sunday mornings, there's always hockey games going on. So you can hear whistles and every now and then people getting enthusiastic about the game. Well, last night there must have been some sort of final on or something because it was 9:30 and there was people legitimately cheering like, "Woo, go, woo!" And that doesn't normally happen. And as I was falling asleep, I was hearing whistles and cheering. And I thought to myself, it's just what it used to be like when I played rugby league. And then I fell asleep and dreamed that I was playing rugby league. What a nice time. Hello there, you chubby little baby. It's about to get eaten. Num 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 num. That was not my foot. Thank goodness. I'll be okay with whatever my life dished up for me, mate. Real happiness, real joy comes from appreciating what you have, not what you don't have. And I'm very appreciative of whatever I have. I read articles quite a while ago now, so I'm sure I'll forget bits of it. But it's important to have goals. It's important to chase goals, and it's good to feel disappointed. But the key message was when you are when you're chasing satisfaction, like when you go, if I just get X, I'll be happy. Very rarely does getting X make you happy. Usually provides you with a temporary sense of satisfaction, temporary sense of self-worth, before that goes away again. It's good to chase improvement. It's good to chase things to be better at. But the real sense of self-worth, the real enjoyment comes from appreciating what you have. It's a hard thing to do. You have to practice it. But it's not. I don't think setting low goals is necessarily the right way to approach it. I think you should always try your best. Try aim for the sky, even if you fall short. My favourite quote, Teddy Roosevelt. That's my favourite all-time quote, by the way. If you haven't read it, it's called The Man in the Arena. It's awesome. Oof, love that quote. Yes, very good. Very, very good approach. Alright, the last thing I want to do on this little Santa Claus motherfucker is I want to add some highlights to this purple smoke and then do his eyeballs. How am I going to do his eyeballs? Orange eyes with this colour. Here, I'll give you the link to the Teddy Roosevelt quote. Glorious. It's not the critic who counts. Nor the man who points out how the strong man stumbles. Get that into you. Because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. Who spends himself, that's not even the whole thing. Who spends himself in a worthy cause. Who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement. And who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who never knew victory nor defeat. Oof. It rustles my jimmy so hard. I love it so much. I'm sure he had a magnificent speechwriter. But, got to be able to deliver it well. Alright. There's a little face in the smoke. There's another little face. Well, if you're a Renaissance man such as myself, Tui, you can read your own poetry and give it the gravitas with which it deserves. But I think your implication is that not everyone that is a great writer is a great speaker. And that's a fair assessment. If you've never heard the term Renaissance man, it means a person who is skilled in many disciplines. How good. Agreed. Same could be said of miniature painters though, Tui, probably. There's teeth in this. There's teeth in the back of this. Look at these little teeth. Chomp, 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 chomp. And faces. Spot on, mate. Absolutely spot on. I've been to several classes and I've not enjoyed them, which is no reflection on the skill of the miniature painting of the person teaching the class, but rather a reflection on their ability to teach. It's just a different skill. It's just a different skill. Of course, being the Renaissance man that I am. I'm a wonderful teacher. But I'm also not very good at miniature painting. So it balances out. I'm really not sure how much more time and effort I want to put in this smoke. It's smoke. It's cool smoke though. It's got little faces in it and teeth in it and shit. Glue down some grass. Tell you what, there was days this week when I felt like I was on my literal deathbed. Very, very sick. Which made working significantly more difficult. Is that one where they read out letters? Like they get famous people to read out letters. I've watched a couple of them, I think. Yeah, I've enjoyed that before. grass. It'll save every one of us. Grass. Savior of your shit base. Well, this model is going to get its very first playthrough on my channel. Unfortunately, not today. Unfortunately, it's going to have to wait an entire week. It's not going to get a look in until I return from my work trip. How depressing. Lots of little things. Let me check. Are we happy? Are we happy enough? Do we need to do more highlighting on the skin maybe? Just a tiny little bit. And then maybe we'll just do a tiny little bit of purple as well. All right, last bit, skin. Sunny skin tone, ice yellow. The last steps. And then we go on to what I've been dreading. This is an actual tedious task that I'm dreading. That was worthwhile. This is a worthwhile step. G'day, RS Blunden. Hello, champion. Oh yeah, it's a wild model. It's Santa Claus that is eating babies and carrying a sack full of child babies to eat at a later stage. Get some of that up here. It is indeed from a game, yes, mate. It's called Kingdom Death. Um, just very recently, the an expansion for this game dropped. It's only been 7 years in the making, the expansion, but everyone that I've spoken to so far, and everyone that I've watched videos for and so on, feels like it has been an amazing triumph. And that's no small feat, given how many people were absolutely down on this game, taking as long as it took to get to them. For the overwhelming majority of them to be like, yeah, this is pretty legit. It is actually the progenitor of Aeon Trespass. This is the game that Aeon Trespass took inspiration from. Do I want to do anything with this stick? I should probably... Nah, you know what? I could not be fucked doing anything with that stick. That stick can actually get fucked. Get fucked, stick. I've had enough of your shit. Alright, Atnas. Sitting down. Alright, let me show you what I've got to do now. This is a giant ball of people. Look at these people. They're giant. They're a ball of them. This guy carries this giant ball of people on his back. He's like, hello guys. Everyone fall asleep. I shall carry you. Mr. Frodo! I can't carry it, Mr. Frodo, but I can carry you. So I'm going to call him Samwise the Gambler. Anyway, I have to fill in all of these gaps. This was an interesting assembly. Yep, it is going to be very fun. It is PVA glue, yes, RS Plunden. I've taken a lot of time with pretty much every Kingdom Death model I've painted. I've done a really good job gap filling, making sure everything looked good, cleaning off mold lines. Like, because it's probably the game I've invested the most money in. Well, it's definitely the game I've invested the most money in. But I really just wanted to have, a collection of King of Death models that I'd be proud of. And that's been a really enjoyable process. That's just also PVA glue, but watered down so that I have it whenever I need it. And it's sealed in an airtight container. It's not a collection of you-know-what that I've been storing up. But I'm really struggling with doing that with this model. This is easily the most elaborate model. This guy's awake. He's the only guy that's awake on the whole thing. This is incredible. Incredible model. And weirdly enough, the assembly was actually really easy. I was expecting it to be a lot trickier than it was. Incredible feat of engineering. And the one thing you have to say about this game is the dude's imagination is just absolutely out there. I got started with some milliput up here, and I was like, yeah, great, yeah. And then I said, well, I'm not doing that for the rest of it. I haven't even thought of a plan yet. So this guy is actually one of the big bad guys in the campaign that came out in the Gambler's Chest. He's called the Dreamkeeper, the Gambler, a Sleepy Slang. And so I always planned on painting him second to last. There's a final boss in the campaign, which is the God Hand, and he is quite small. Here's the God Hand. The thing about Kingdom Death is he's done probably what very few board gamers, miniature companies have been able to do, and create something that is absolutely unique. I did paint something. I painted Atnas, the Santa Claus. Fundamentally unique. Like, you see some crazy shit and you go, yeah, that's probably Kingdom Death. I think that's super cool. Now, whether or not you like or agree with the aesthetic, got to acknowledge that it's unique and special. How should I paint this? Should we go for varied skin tone? Should we go for a lot of different nationalities and ethnicities wrapped up in here? I feel like that would make for a more interesting looking ball, wouldn't it? Wellhorns fan, if you go and have a look on my YouTube channel, you'll see I have currently released 8 episodes of a People of the Dreamkeeper campaign. I have played, at this juncture, I'm now on my 10th campaign playthrough. So that probably puts me in the 1% of people who have played the game, completed the game, and played everything of the content that has to offer the game has to offer. In the lore, they're actually just people that are asleep, survivors that are asleep and dreaming. So there's no reason for them not to be every nationality, colour, creed. Yeah, this is the wild thing about this game, friends. It raised $12 million on Kickstarter, right? The second printing, $12 million. There are so many people that have copies of this game, and I doubt that 5% of them have played through the entirety of the game, which is probably more of a commentary on how much content there is than a commentary on those people, because there's so many games to play right now. Like, every week at games night we've got a new game to play. Alright, this PVA is going to work okay. I'm going to get most of the big gaps. Yep. It really is a perfectionist's nightmare. It's lucky I am not a perfectionist. Yes, Horns fan, I know that feeling, mate. My advice is to paint quicker. What is your game of choice? Yeah, Sleepy Slang, I haven't actually. I was just saying before, I'm saving it. I'm heading down to Tasmania for work next week, so saving it for the flight. Gonna watch myself some Wheel of Time on the flight. Yo. I got some Ahsoka as well. It's crazy to think that, hey, crazy to think that. But I reckon you're probably spot on. It's such a commitment. See you, Chromo. Such a commitment of a game. Like, you can't just sit down and go, yeah, have a quick sesh of Kingdom Death before I go to bed. Before you can even get it to the table, you have to sit down and build your models. Which for us that come from a wargaming background, it's like, yeah, no big deal. Oh yes, I have Marvel Crisis Protocol painted. 105 models of it. Very good. Haven't played a game in a while, actually. Should play a game. But to sit down and play a game of Kingdom Death, it's not just a one and done. To find everything that the game's got to offer, you have to play it for an extended period of time. It's just not feasible for a lot of people. It wasn't done in 2 days. It's done pretty quickly though. Every one of them was done in 2 hours, so 100 times 2 hours took me 210 hours to paint that. At an average of, let's say, 2 hours a day. No, it was more than that, because on the weekends I did a lot more. Yeah. It's hard to commit. It's hard to commit to that level of playing. I mean, I've done it, but I'm also someone who fixates on something until I hate it. That's not true. I don't hate it. But I fixate on something until I've had enough. Yeah, I have a really cool games group I play with every Tuesday. We play all sorts of different games every week. It's great. We've recently been playing through a legacy campaign from a game called Solar 175. Another little Kickstarter game that just looked really cool, so I backed it. It's been really good. We played 6 games of it. 6? 5? 5 maybe. It's just good. Good game. I like legacy games. We don't often get to get full value out of legacy games, because unless they're really good, we struggle with playing them over and over and over. This one is really good. The never-ending gap filling. Oh, when's the new Stranger Things out? I did buy Ankh. Yes, I have Ankh sitting there. It's my hope that I will eventually get around to painting it. I have painted the majority of my Rising Sun collection. Not all of it. I'm about 7 models short of Rising Sun. And I do want to do the same for Blood Rage and for Ankh. It's a game that it's a series of games that I really love. So my Rising Sun collection is 7 models short of being painted. Ankh, I showed off the models. They're unreal on stream, so I'll get around to doing them. Yeah, it's really hard to commit to a legacy game. I mean, so I've been really fortunate that one of my mates in my games group, Koki, he's just as big of a frother as I am on games. So we played through Gloomhaven together, just the two of us. Over a 3-month period, we completed it. Just played it like 2 or 3 times a week. It was awesome. Yeah, so that's really lucky. But you know, even he and I recently we started a game called Oathsworn, and we're still trying to finish that off. Admittedly, he did fall off a ladder and break his shoulder into 15 different places, but it's just no excuse. There's no excuse in my book. Don't need your shoulder to roll dice, you little dog. Couldn't. It's a piss weak excuse, man. I was fucking giving it to him. I was like, just get in the car and drive over here, you dog. He's like, yeah, well, I'm not going to drive. I said, alright, I'll come pick you up. It's like, yeah, I'm about to pass out. I said, whatever, mate. Get a cup of cement up here. It's fucking soft as. Yeah, exactly. Just pull yourself together. There's a video of me playing rugby league, right? Many years ago, obviously. And my mum and dad came down to watch. And my mum's filming. Or my dad's filming, and my mum's fucking there providing colour commentary. And I got absolutely bashed. I got absolutely cut in half. And my mum goes, get up, don't be pathetic. And then she said, go Trenny, if you score a try, I'll give you $1. Well, classic Waldo. Turn around, look at what you see in her face. Mirror of your dream, make believe I'm everywhere. Written in the. It's already on the internet, mate. It's already on my YouTube channel. It's a long time ago now. Like 13 years or something. There upon on the pages is the answer to our never-ending gap fill. Na 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 na. It's the biggest gap I think I've seen on this model here. It's a wonderful feat of engineering, really, when you think about it. About halfway. How many pieces was it? Probably about 30. Someone posted a picture the other night on the Kingdom Death forum actually that showed how many pieces it came in. Surprisingly easy to assemble though. Like everything was just labelled. You just followed the order. It was like A1, A2. It went together like a glove. Yeah, gap filling is going to take forever. Mind you, it's going to take a lot of paint too. But we'll be able to use some tricks for the painting. The answer to our never-ending gap filling. Oh boy. I'm gonna have to do some head scraping. There's a lot of models that have a mold line directly across their melon. Alright. The thing you've got to keep in mind is that this is viewed from the top. So we need to make sure that the gaps from the top, that are visible from the top, are the ones that are filled. Don't need to worry so much about the ones on the bottom. Has anyone watched Wheel of Time yet? Has anyone watched it already? Is it good? Should I temper my enthusiasm? Mm. only came out yesterday. You're forgiven. This is a very, very, very long process. Wow. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, am I suddenly back to an area I've done? Finally. Yeah, unthinned, yep. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect solution. Like, the types of gaps that we're filling here, for the most part, are the ideal types of gaps. They're like um, between two surfaces where you just need a thin line. But for stuff where there is like an actual seam line, it doesn't ever fully cover it properly. So it's not a perfect solution, but it is a fast solution. I don't know, man. There's got to be. Well, I was trying it, and then I was like, no, no, thank you. Socializing. I was trying it. I was like, no, not for me. Yeah, the thin super glue would probably work. Um, Topolis has been raving about this sprue goo. So If you have access to that, you could try that. Everywhere I look, there's more gap lines. Hey, that's a good call, actually. I got some of that Vallejo white putty. Yeah, it's good stuff, actually. Hey, why does everyone hate on liquid green stuff so much? It's actually not too bad. Alright, the question I'm asking myself now is how much more am I willing to do? I've got the most of them, I think, the main ones. The ones that are like overtly visible. Good tip there, Tui. Should come up with a new segment called Tips with Tui, where you can enlighten us on the wisdom of your years of sculpting kick-ass models. Yeah, it is. It is all right. Okay. I feel like I might be done. Wowza. That felt like the longest gut filling of my entire life. I'll probably come back to that and do some more. No, these are the HIPS, high impact polystyrene, the Games Workshop material. The good stuff. So I got few models left that I want to do. Let's do something fun now, because we've just spent like 6 hours doing that. Gamblers, chest content. So I'm going to show you this bad boy. Ooh, go down the bottom. turn off the palette for a bit. Alright, I'm going to show you how cool this box is. All we need to do is pick we need to pick a narrative sculpt to paint for the Lanterns Rain Discord competition. So there is a collection of narrative sculpts. Each of them has a story in the game in terms of their gear and their equipment, etc. So he's wheeling some guitars. Popular guy, Cockroach Queen. She's pretty cool. She's got a little baby Sunstalker. She's using one of the new philosophies, Verminism. So that's cool. Clever Strategist. Strategist is a fighting art. I like her. Leyline Walker. Very, very nice. Romantic Principle. Very cool sculpt. At the moment, that's cool. It's like Zelda. Link. Little family of axe wielders. Cool. This chick is wielding a mass immune and she's got bandages covering up her cuts from all of her bleeding tokens. Bowmaster of Deadrock. He's great. I like his base. Mad and Mighty Striker. Anyway, I've got a couple of favourites that we're going to choose from, so I'm just showing you all these because we'll assemble it now. Dark Eye. Wow, she's actually quite cool. Yeah. This is one of my favourites. This is one of my picks, White Fang. It's like He-Man with a Twilight sword and boobs. He-Man, I have the power. He-Man. Or She-Ra. This is a good sculpt. Bright Knives. I like Bright Knives. Last Axeman Standing. Cool. This is also on the list. The Bone Eater. I like that because it's got lots of flesh. Sprinter Armor. It's a cool model, but shan't be painting it. Cursed Spear. Murderer. So in the game you can have a philosophy or you can have an event that pops up where one of your survivors is just like, yep, I am now a murderer. I'm going to kill everyone. And in the new system, the murderer is actually trying to level up in being a murderer. And if he is successful in doing so, you get all these cool abilities to be able to like steal other people's stats. It's legit. Beast Hunter Armor. Champion of the Goblin. I don't like those ones. Magma Masochist. Tough Guy. Get the Guzzer out. Honourable Berserker. Romantic Adventurer. Imitation Butcher. Pretty good. Screaming Hoarder. Not for me. Herb Gatherer. So we've got to decide between the Bone Eater and Swinson painted it. The Bone Eater and the sword one, the He-Man. Maybe I'll just do both. I like both of them. Bone Eater and White Fang. All right, find them in here to assemble them. Bloody Sword of Deadrock, Cursed Spear, Bowmaster of Deadrock. Nope. Axeman, Dad Axeman, Father and Son. White Fang. Cool. I have the power. It comes with an overwhelming number of models, this game, this collection, and there is only 4 or so that I still would like to put together. The rest I may just give away. Hey Sammy! What was the other one? Bone Eater. Yeah. Bone Eater. Yeah. Alright. Because I could just... Yeah. The reality is I'm not going to paint all of them. It's as simple as that. I'm just not going to paint them all. But I want to make sure I paint all the ones that have real game applications. The Kickstarter, so it depends when you bought it. If you bought this game in the very first Kickstarter in 2015, this box, in certain packages it was $50, 50 euro, or 50 US dollars. And now the regular retail price of this Gambler's Chest is going to be 450 to 500 USD. So some people made out like absolute fucking bandits. However, I would think the majority of people did not purchase it on day one. Well, that's probably not fair. A lot of people would have purchased it, maybe not in that package. I think they did a real discount in a package, so maybe $100. But every year since the thing, he puts it up for sale on Black Friday. Charges more and more. Scout Bone Eater. Plenty of people who... This is awesome. This is great stuff. I love this glue. No issues at all with that glue. The little metal nozzle allows you to heat it up and get rid of any dry glue. Whoa, strong. Strong words. I don't want to brush. Brushing's for chumps. if I could provide one criticism of Kingdom Death from a miniature perspective, fuck me, he does excessive amounts of bits. Just excessive. You just don't need this many bits, mate. Oof, he's a thick boy, look at him. Yeah. Alright, I'll try some. Jeez Louise. I do like things that help me get faster. Ugh. The thing is, I don't assemble that many plastic models, really. Most of the stuff I deal with these days is resin. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's not a fair statement. I did all those Marvel Crisis Protocol, I guess. Yes, I realise it wasn't a very accurate statement. Unfortunately. Yeah, the Bone Eater. Where's this chest bit? Oh, yeah. I know what I like, friends, and I like this glue. I've been using it for years. It works for me. I'll try a new piece of glue. goes on there. That's fine. We just need to... Is there? He-Man. He-Man. I have the power. I wasn't even that into He-Man when I was liking cartoons. I was all about that Thundercats. Thunder. Thunder. Thundercats. Oh! Thundercats are here to stay. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. That was more my jam. What else did I like? I was really into Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers. Loved Power Rangers. Loved the Power Rangers movie when it came out. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. So I'm going to assemble the Scouts. I'm going to assemble those two narrative sculpts. And that'll probably be all I assemble from all of those models. Maybe some of the armor kits. We'll see. What else we got? This arm. And this hand holding the skull that he's about to eat. I am about to eat you, skull. Oh, more hair. Did they? Go, go, Power Rangers. Shall we glue little cheeky butt to his base? Yes, but we use super glue for that. This guy is so good. Alright friends, I'm going to wrap up very shortly. Got a big day. Got to pack for my trip next week and all sorts of other stuff. So, but looking forward to getting back. Next time I'm on stream, we'll probably be paying the gambler. The gambler. And I call him Gambler. How's this arm piece going? Bizarro. I've got the Gambler and the God Hand, and that is it. Nothing else left to paint. Everything else is done. Which is a cool position to be in. Whee! See you, Tui. Nightmate, good to see you again. Well, digitally. Conversationally. I don't really know how these pieces will go together. Yes, for all of you people in Europe, it's time to go. Yes, I'm heading off for work next week, mate, and leaving tomorrow. So no stream tomorrow. Sort of nip in and get one done today. Good to know I'm not the only one who does aimless YouTube browsing. There's a lot of hair pieces here. I don't really know how these hair pieces go. These must be here. Oh yes, like that. Yes, lovely. Hello there, Mini Dan, you superstar. It must have been a long night. See you, Tui. Party Mondays are coming back as of next week when I'm not in Tasmania, my friend. Party Mondays. Bring it on. Oh, where's this guy's hair bits? No. I don't have the mental capacity for this right now. That's it. You're an attractive man. You're a kind and generous lover. I'll show off my angry Santa Claus. Here he is. That's all we did. It's been a wonderful day, friends. I hope you all have a great week. I'll see you again soon. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Mini Den. Thank you, all of you other great people. Good night. Big Den.